Now that we have a basic understanding of how labor markets work, in particular labor markets for different occupations, let's think about what makes one worker more productive than another. And one of the theories about what makes one worker more productive than another, is the human capital theory. And human capital is everything inside a worker's head, between a worker's ears. It's education, experience, any specific training that worker has received, basic intelligence of one worker, and the energy level that worker brings to tasks, work habits. Is this worker playing solitaire all the time, or are they working, giving you a solid 8 to 10 hours a day? It's actually pretty rare to find good workers like that. But when you have one, that worker is going to be a lot more productive than others. Trustworthiness. Can you leave that worker on the task and go out to a meeting, or do you have to be over that worker's shoulder all the time telling them what to do? Well, if it's the latter case, that worker isn't adding much value to you because you got to spend so much of your own time managing that worker. And then finally, initiative. Some workers see a problem, figure out what's needed, ask questions only when they really can't figure it out, but they can figure out a lot of the basic stuff on their own. Other workers need to ask you about every little thing, and let me tell you, the latter kind of worker can be a real problem. So too is the worker that just boldly forges ahead and makes a lot of dumb decisions, but either having too much initiative or too little initiative can be counterproductive. Anyway, so human capital is really important. We see this. This is one of the drivers of the widening wage gap between college graduates and high school graduates. Let me just switch slides here and show you just a snapshot of that issue. This is a graphic from the Pew Research Foundation. I can't remember their actual name, but this is 2012 data, and they look at unemployment rates by education category, and then earnings, median weekly earnings by professional categories. And you can see the more education you have, generally speaking, the lower your unemployment rates. This is 2012, still a pretty tough year for the economy. Not so tough if you had a fairly high amount of education. Earnings pretty high, unemployment pretty low. But man, for people that had less than a college level education, this was a really tough economy. And it continues to be, and generally speaking, we think it's only going to get worse. So we see this trend, we see a very strong trend toward higher educated workers, more highly educated workers making more than lower educated workers. And human capital can explain a good bit of that trend. It does matter the quality of the training, so these kinds of things are pretty crude. It measures seat time, and the achievement of degrees, I guess, is a symbol of performance. But getting a C average at Pacific is different than getting an A average at Harvard, and so too is getting an A average in an English major, say, compared to an A average in physics or economics, frankly. So the quality of what you're doing during those education years makes a big difference. I'm just going to take a quick moment here to plug economics. Year after year, these are probably mid-career earnings. This was from a Business Insider magazine article. It's I think the Hamilton Project, if you want to look it up. They're looking at earnings based on undergraduate major, and you notice that of all the highly paid majors, these are the ratios of the median earnings of these professionals to the median earning of the labor force at large. Notice that of these various degrees, economics, finance are among the only social science degrees or humanities degrees in this top earnings category. Mostly they're engineers, computer scientists. There are so few mathematically able people in the economy, in the United States economy, and so much demand for their skills that the earnings levels of economics majors tend to be pretty high. The only, as I say, the only non-science majors in this top echelon.